Good morning, students of class 9. Welcome back to the bio class. In our previous class, we had already studied that plants and animals are made up of cells. Then we studied the discovery of cell, Robert Hooke and all. Then we studied about the structure of cell, shape and size. Cells are of different shape and different size to carry out different types of functions. After that, we studied about that why cells being small in size, they are more efficient because they provide a larger surface area. Now today we are going to study about the structure of cell. A cell is made up of each cell. That is, cells are present in both plants and animals. So each cell is made up of three parts or three components. What are they? Number one, cell membrane, also known as plasma membrane. Number two, cytoplasm. It is the dense jelly-like fluid which is present inside the cell membrane. In between the cell membrane and the nucleus, the cytoplasm is present. And the third one, the genetic material, that is nucleus, which is present in the center of the cell, which controls all the vital activities, all metabolic, hereditary activities of the cell is controlled by the nucleus. So if I draw a simple diagram of a cell, animal cell suppose, and this one is the nucleus, this one is the cell membrane, this one is the nucleus, and the remaining part which is present, it is known as cytoplasm. Okay? So one by one we have to study about each one of them and their structure as well as functions. So first one is cell membrane, alright, or plasma membrane. Cell membrane or plasma membrane, it is present in the form of the outermost boundary of animal cells. In plant cells, it is not the outermost boundary because there is one more membrane which is known as cell wall. Okay? So cell wall is present in case of plant cell only. It is not found in animal cell. So cell membrane forms the outermost boundary in animal cells. But in plant cell, it is present inside the cell wall. Now what is this cell wall? We will study about it. Cell wall is present in plants. It is a non-living membrane. It is a very tough or hard membrane which gives protection to the cell. It also gives shape to the cell. It is found only in plant cells, some protists, fungi and bacteria. Okay? So we will study about it later. First we will complete this cell membrane. Now next, cell membrane forms the outermost boundary in animal cell. Okay? In all the animal cells, the outermost cover of the cytoplasm is cell membrane. Okay? It is living or dead? It is a living membrane, not dead membrane. Okay? And it binds, or we can say it protects the cytoplasm. It do not allow the cytoplasm to flow outside. So next point we can write, it is a living membrane. Cell membrane is living. Okay? And what is it made up of? It is made up of, cell membrane is made up of proteins and lipids. Lipids and proteins. Lipids means fats. So fats and proteins are the structural unit of cell membrane. Okay? And this cell membrane, it has tiny pores in it so that it can allow the movement of substances, selected substance inside the cytoplasm. Okay? So that's why it is called selectively permeable. Cell membrane is selectively permeable. Permeable means permit, allow to go. So certain substances can easily pass through the cell membrane into the cytoplasm, means from outside into the cytoplasm. They can diffuse. How? Through the tiny pores which are present, perforated pores present in the cell membrane. Okay, understood now? Now the next we have to study is the functions of cell membrane. But before that, let's have a rough structure of the cell membrane. A simple diagram of cell membrane, how to draw it, and what are the different parts. So this way we can draw. The cell membrane consists of what are they? This one I am drawing, it is lipids. Okay, so bilipid layer it is called. Bi means two, upper layer and lower layer. They are made up of fats or lipids, so it is called bilipid layer. Then it consists of proteins. So I will draw bigger protein molecules with different colors so that it can be highlighted. Protein particles are present. This is called integral protein. Maybe this color will not be seen. Let's use white only. Integral protein means protein molecules are dispersed in the layer of fats, that is lipids. Okay, so these protein molecules are present at different places. Some are present in the center, sandwiched between both the fat layers, and some are present at the side also. If any protein molecules are here, if some protein molecules are here, they have different names. Like if they are outside, extrinsic protein. If they are to the side, lateral proteins, intrinsic proteins. They are the name given to the position of protein molecules in the fat layers. Okay, got it now? So now next one we have to study the functions of cell membrane. So what are the functions of cell membrane? What all work it do? First function of cell membrane is it binds the cytoplasm, because it is the boundary of the cell in animal cell. So it will help to bind the cytoplasm. It will not allow the semi-fluid like substance to flow outside. So first one is it is rigid. Sorry, this one is acts as a mechanical barrier. The cell membrane acts as a mechanical barrier and protects the inner cell content. Acts as a mechanical barrier, and protects the inner cell contents. Okay, because it is present outside, like in plant cell, this is outside, so it is acting like a barrier. It will not allow any substance to go inside the cell. So it acts as a mechanical barrier, okay, preventive measure, and protect the cell, that is inner cell content, that is cytoplasmic nucleus. They will be protected due to the presence of this boundary, because it is a boundary wall which is present in plant cells as well as animal cells. Now the second function of the cell membrane, it allows the movement of molecules. Like certain substance can move outside, some substance can diffuse inside the cell through the cell membrane. So it helps in the movement. It helps in the movement of substances in and out of the cell. It helps in the movement of substances. Okay, it helps in the movement of substances in and out of the cell. Okay, so first function is cell membrane acts as a mechanical barrier. Second one, helps in the movement of substances, like useful substances. If they need to go inside the cell, they can diffuse in. And if some excretory products are there inside the cell, because if it is a cell, of course it will excrete some waste also, and those waste need to be thrown outside the cell, and that can be done through the membrane only. That is the only path from where it can go. So both the movement of substances inside and outside the cell is possible through the cell membrane only. It is the only place through which this transport can take place. Okay, so first two functions you have understood. Now the third function of cell membrane is, it helps, already I said about that selectively permeable, I said. It allow only substance to pass through it, certain substance, not all. So third point is selectively permeable. Only certain substances are allowed. Only certain substances are allowed to pass through it. Not all, everything is not allowed. That's why it is called selectively permeable. It regulates the movement, already I said, helps in the movement or regulates the movement. So 1, 2, 3, third one, selectively permeable you can write. Okay? So what are the functions? Already I discussed. Act as a mechanical barrier, regulate the movement of substance in and out of the cell, and only certain substances are allowed to move or pass through the cell membrane. That's why it is called selectively permeable membrane. Okay, now next one is cell wall. What is cell wall? Cell wall is the outermost tough or rigid boundary of plant cells. All the plant cell has this cell wall. Okay, it is not found in animal cell. So cell wall, outermost tough, or we can also say one word is there, rigid. Outermost rigid, non-living, these are the characters. Outermost rigid, non-living structure or boundary present. Now where it is found? In all the plant cells. In all plant cells, cell wall is present. Okay. Some protist, fungi and bacteria. It is found in bacteria also, fungi also, protist also, but generally in all the plant cells, cell wall is present. Okay. But is this cell wall found in animal cell? No. So cell wall is absent in animal cells. It is not present in animals. Okay. Now third point, it is freely permeable. It will allow any substance to go through it, pass through it. Freely permeable. Now if you compare the cell wall and the cell membrane, what are the differences? It is rigid, it is non-living. Cell wall is non-living, cell membrane is living. Cell wall is present only in plant cells and fungi, bacteria and all, but in cell membrane is found in both plant cell as well as in animal cell. So these two differences are there. Some more differences you can highlight. Now next one is cell wall in case of fungi. First I will rub this one. In case of fungi, cell wall is made up of a substance. Let's see what is this cell wall made in plant cell, fungus and others. Okay. In plant cell, cell wall is made up of a complex carbohydrate. In plant cell I am talking, okay. In plant cell, cell wall is made up of a complex carbohydrate called cellulose. What is the name of that carbohydrate? Cellulose. So cell wall is made up of cellulose in plant cell, which is a type of carbohydrate. In fungus, cell wall is made up of chitin, CHITIN. Okay? And in bacteria, a complex compound is found in the cell wall, and that compound, only name I will write in bacteria. Okay? A complex compound is found in bacteria that is called peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan, GLYCAN. Bacterial cell wall contains this one, peptidoglycan. Fungal cell wall is made up of chitin, and plant cell wall is made up of cellulose. Got it? So what we studied, cell wall is the outermost, rigid, non-living, boundary present in plant cells, some protist, fungi and bacteria. It is absent in animal cell. freely permeable because it can allow any substance to pass through it. In plant cell, it is made up of a complex carbohydrate called cellulose. In fungus, it is made up of chitin. In bacteria, peptidoglycan, a complex compound is present in the cell wall. Now, what is the function of cell wall? The functions of cell wall: number one, it gives protection to the cell because it is the boundary of plant cell. It gives shape to the cell. So I will just write it. Provides rigidity, structural strength, functions. Okay. What are the functions of cell wall? Provides rigidity, means hardness, structural strength because it forms the structure in plant cell. It provides rigidity, that is hardness, structural strength, and protection also, and protection to the cell. Third point, because it is a boundary, so it will protect. The function of boundary is to protect only, and protection of the cell. Now, any more function of cell wall? It provides rigidity, structural strength, and protection to the cell. It helps in the movement of substance in and out of the cell. That also you can write. Gives definite shape to the cell. That is the second point. Gives definite shape to the cell. And the third one, helps in the movement of molecules in and out of the cell. That I am not writing. Helps in the transport of various substances in and out of the cell. Let's write it. Third point. Helps in transport of substances. Transport of substances in and out of the cell. So what are the functions of cell wall? Provides rigidity, structural strength, that is, it forms a structure, hard structure in the plant cell, and protection to the cell. Second, gives definite shape, and third, helps in transport. Okay. Now, next topic we have to do is the nucleus. Nucleus is a very important cell organelle or important part of the cell because it is the one which is called the brain of the cell. Just like our brain controls all our activities, body activities, similarly, inside a cell, it is the nucleus which controls all the functions of a cell. So what is nucleus? Nucleus, I'll just write it and discuss. Nucleus is the control center of the cell. Control, like each and everything has a center from where all the activities are controlled. So it is control center of the cell. It controls, this nucleus is present, generally it is present, it is oval or spherical structure which is present in all the living cells. Oval or spherical structure, generally located, oval or spherical structure, generally located in the center of the cell. But in plant cell, due to the presence of large vacuole, this nucleus is pushed towards the periphery in the center of the cell. Then, nucleus, there are some cells like which lacks nucleus. Example, sieve tube. You know what is sieve tube? It is found in phloem. It is one of the cells of or the elements of phloem. Sieve tube and RBC, you know what is the full form of RBC, red blood cells, lack nucleus. Lack means they do not have nucleus. At maturity, means once they are matured, the nucleus is absent. But at the time, early stages of their formation, they contain a nucleus. Means nucleus was present when they were born, but when they became mature, they lost the nucleus. Okay? So what are the points? Nucleus is called the control center or the brain of the cell. It controls all metabolic and hereditary activity of the cell that we study in function. It is oval or spherical structure located generally in the center of the cell, but in plant cell it is pushed towards the periphery. Then third point, sieve tube, which is a part of conducting tissue, that is xylem and phloem. So this is the part of phloem tissue. Sieve tube and RBC, you know, the one which gives red color to the blood, they lack nucleus at maturity. Means when they are matured, they have no nucleus inside the cell. Like RBC is there, nucleus is not present. But when they are formed in that early stage, they have the nucleus present in there. Okay. So now next we have to study the structure of nucleus. Let's do it fast. The structure of nucleus. Okay. Generally, a nucleus contains 4 different parts. I'll just write what are the names. Number 1, nuclear membrane. Suppose this is the nucleus, so I am drawing. This is the nuclear membrane. Okay. This is the nuclear membrane. This nuclear membrane has tiny pores. It is called nuclear pore. Then the second material which is present or which forms the structure of nucleus, nuclear membrane is there. After that, we have the nucleolus, which is a dense spherical body. We will study about each one of them. Nucleolus. Third one is chromatin or nucleoplasm. This fluid which is present inside, that is called nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm. The part of the protoplasm which fills inside the nucleus. And the last one is chromatin network. Fourth one. Chromatin network. The one which forms chromosomes. So what are the 4 different parts of the nucleus? Number 1, the outermost covering, which is called membrane, nuclear membrane, which has tiny pores called nuclear pores. Okay, I will draw it again and label all the parts. Nucleolus, the dense spherical body which are present inside the nucleolus. Okay, inside the nucleus. And nucleoplasm, it is the fluid which is filled inside the nucleus. Chromatin material, these are the chromatin material, the thread-like structures which forms the hereditary material inside the cell. Okay, now next one by one we have to study about each one of them. First one is nuclear membrane. Okay, nuclear membrane, one by one you have to study nuclear membrane. Already written here. Nuclear membrane. Okay, what are the functions and all? Nuclear membrane separates. This is the nuclear membrane. It separates, like if there is a cell, this is the nucleus, this is the membrane around it. So function of this membrane is to separate the nucleus from the cytoplasm. Understood it now? So it separates the nucleus from the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. Now it has double membrane. 2 membranes are there with a gap between them. Like in between both the membranes, a gap is present. This gap is called lumen. Lumen. This gap I have drawn, no? 1, 2 membranes. This is outer membrane. This is called inner membrane. With a gap between them. I am not writing the name lumen. The next one, it has tiny pore. The nuclear membrane has tiny pore. I said in that time only, no? That the membrane has tiny pores. Tiny pores are present called nuclear pores. Are called nuclear pores. So these are the nuclear pores, the gaps which are present. Okay. Now next, in between the nucleus and the cytoplasm, what is the function of nuclear membrane? The function of nuclear membrane is to separate the nucleus from the cytoplasm. Understood? The nuclear membrane separates the nucleus from the cytoplasm. It has 2 membranes, outer membrane, this one, inner membrane, this one, with a gap which is present between both the membrane. Then it has tiny pores. These pores I have drawn here. This one also pore. This one also, here also. So these pores are called nuclear pores. Okay. So now next we have to study is nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm is a colorless, dense fluid. Once again I will draw it to complete. The colorless, dense fluid which is filled inside the nucleus, that is called nucleoplasm. The second one, nucleoplasm. This one we are studying, third one, sorry. What is nucleoplasm? The colorless, dense fluid that fills the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. Anything else? Now next is inside that nucleoplasm only, this nucleoli and the chromatin network both are found. So where are chromatin network and nucleolus present? They are present inside the nucleoplasm. Okay? So nucleoplasm plus cytoplasm, together they form protoplasm. Got it now? Now next one is, what is nucleolus? Nucleolus I am not writing. Nucleolus are the dense spherical body. Usually 2 to 3 are present here, only one I have shown in the diagram. So dense spherical bodies which are located or which are present inside the nucleus is called nucleolus. Now what is the function of nucleolus? It helps in the synthesis of ribosomes, and you know it is made up of proteins. These ribosomes are called the protein factory of the cell because it helps to synthesize proteins. It is rich in proteins and RNA. So this nucleolus contains RNA plus proteins. RNA plus, you know what is the full form of RNA? RNA is the genetic material which stands for ribonucleic acid. Just like DNA is also a genetic material, and proteins, you know, it is one of the nutrients. So nucleolus is made up of RNA and proteins. The function of nucleolus, it helps in ribosome synthesis, and ribosomes are the protein factory of the cell. Okay, got it? Now last one we'll do chromatin network. That we can write. What is chromatin network? But before doing that chromatin network, I'll try to draw that structure of nucleus once again. See, this one is the nucleus, nucleolus. This is the inner membrane. What is this? Inner membrane. Alright? Then outside one more membrane I will draw. The structure of nucleus I am drawing, okay? This one is outer membrane. Outer membrane, inner membrane. This one is the gap or the lumen, which is present between both the membranes I said, no? Outer membrane, inner membrane, this gap which is present, this one, it is called lumen. And the pores which are present, you can see here, they are called nuclear pores. Nuclear pores, P-O-R-S. These are the tiny pores through which materials can go inside the cell and it can come outside. Between the cytoplasm and the nucleus, diffusion of materials can take place. Understood? Then it consists of the fluid which is filled inside. I'll draw it. The semi-fluid substance which is filled here. This is known as nucleoplasm. And the network of thread-like structures which are present that form the genetic material, it is known as chromatin network. So this is called chromatin network. So this is the structure of nucleus. So what does this figure represent? It represents the structure of nucleus. This one will be given as homework also. You can do it in your copy. You have to draw this nucleus and label all the parts. And when the next question is given, like explain the structure of the nucleus, you have to explain all the 4 parts which I mentioned. Okay. Now next one is the chromatin network. Let's do it first. Chromatin material. This one I hope you have understood already. Okay. Alright, now next one is chromatin network. This one was the fourth part or the structure of nucleus, chromatin network. What is chromatin network? It is a network why I saying, because all the threads which appear like rod-like structures, they are intertwined. They are thread-like structures. So a network of thread-like structures present inside the nucleus. It forms. Now during cell division, what happens? This chromatin network condenses, means they come closer, they become thick and appear as chromosomes. So it forms chromosomes. During cell division. By condensation of chromatin network. Okay. Now what is it made up of? This chromatin network is made up of DNA and histone proteins. So during cell division it becomes rod-like, visible. Chromosomes has extremely small particles. Like if I try to draw a diagram of chromosomes here, then on the surface of chromosomes many functional genes are located. So chromosomes are made up of, or they contain, chromosomes contain, made up of one, right, contain genes. Okay, now what is these genes? Genes are the hereditary materials which are located on the surface of chromosomes. Got it? Now what are these genes made up of? Chemically, like what is the chemical structure of genes? Chemically, genes are made up of DNA. What is the full form of DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, got it? Now all these points. What is the main function of chromatin network? It helps to carry or transfer. It helps to transfer genetic information or hereditary information, you can say, from parents